It's so loud.
Oh, welcome in to Garbage Time Fantasy Football. I am Ron Seymour. We have Joseph McCann, JJ LaPlante, and Ryan Warner. Today we have part 2 of our mock sabotage draft. Are you boys ready for all of this?
The first night was sure eventful.
I am absolutely ready.
I can't.
And I better not get sabotaged once.
I looked at like JJ's and Joe's trades compared to mine and Ryan's from the first 16. And they're just, the difference in amount was hilarious to me.
Explain your thought process.
Well, I'm looking at yours right now. You made 1, 2, 3, I think. 3 or 4.
We can count, guys. It's a good start.
Well, I'm trying to remember which one was traded with who here. I pointed like you guys could see what I'm pointing at the moment.
Well, if you point at that computer screen, you can count right down that list and see how many there were.
Right, but some of those are the same trade is what I was trying to decipher around.
Gotcha.
Anyways, I'm just saying it says trade a lot more on your guys' side than it does on mine and Ryan's side.
We're pretty boring. Basically, Ron and I have super
that's what I'm
boring.
saying. We were super boring.
We were ambitious.
Enough trades, to be honest. The way this offseason, all the rumors going around, I feel like there could be like 6 trades in the top 16.
Oh, geez. I just tried scrolling down your shared screen, JJ, because I'm a genius. All right, let's get into this. We went 1 through 16 last time. We're going 17 through 32 this time. Are we ready, boys?
Yes, we are.
All right. JJ, kick us off. Who you got the Las Vegas Raiders taking?
Yeah, so one of the biggest offseason questions was what the hell were the Raiders doing? And they gave up pretty much their entire line. So, you know, in typical Raiders fashion, I just have them taking another O-lineman. Christian Darrisaw, Gruden's shown how much he likes to run the ball, and that his offense is going to be mostly tailored around Darren Waller in the run game. And they lost one of their most productive receivers in Nelson Aguilar. So I think they're going to beef up the line even more and draft versatile Christian Darrisaw, who could play inside or out for them. So Christian Darrisaw from Virginia Tech.
Well, JJ, that doesn't sound like a third-round prospect. That sounds like something too intelligent for the Raiders to do. But since we're starting on a positive note, I'll assume that they're going to actually make an intelligent draft pick here. And they need a lot of help at linebacker. So I've got them drafting Micah Parsons, linebacker out of Penn State. They seem to like athletic players, and he fits the mold of an athletic player. So I think he's a good pick here.
So that is the latest any of us have Micah Parsons going.
Yep.
All right. I agree with JJ and everything he said, including the pick, Christian Darrisaw.
Damn. On to Mr. Warner. How Warner sees it.
How Warner sees it. So I was along the same line of thinking as Joe. I see the Raiders going for a defensive player here, getting some versatility there. I have them taking Jalen Phillips here.
That's actually a little bit later than I thought Phillips was going to go. So I guess they're getting a real prize where you're picking him.
Yeah, I think that is kind of late, but if he falls that far, that's definitely a bargain for him.
Agreed.
We should have just copied and pasted, but you know.
We're so technical here.
We like to do things the hard way here.
Builds character.
All right.
All
on
right.
18.
Take it away, JJ.
So, I'm just feeling it. So I hate this pick, and it may not be the pick, but it makes sense. I'm an anti-running back first round kind of guy. I think you can get quality running backs in the 3rd and 4th round. And that's kind of been proven throughout the league. But I have the Dolphins taking Najee Harris. I think he's kind of the consensus number 1 running back in this class. He's familiar with Tua, obviously, from their time at Alabama together. And, the Dolphins have a couple interesting running backs on the roster, Myles Gaskin. But they don't have a guy with Harris's size. And I think they need that back that can take them into those dark waters when someone needs to get 20 carries in a game and it's a defensive struggle. So I got him taking Najee Harris here out of Alabama.
All right, Joe.
Well, I think it'd be nice to take Najee Harris in that spot. I think the Dolphins really need to fortify their offensive line, and they started taking the steps to do that last year. So I've got the Dolphins selecting Christian Darrisaw from Virginia Tech. He'll fortify that line, and he will help any running back they end up drafting a little bit later in this draft, which JJ was talking around the lines of. So maybe a 3rd or 4th round running back paired with their other guys.
Makes sense.
All right. Yeah, JJ, I
All right.
agree. Najee Harris would be a good pick, but I feel like they might be able to maybe get him towards the top of the 2nd round, possibly also. I think they could use an edge rusher here. I'm going to give them Quiddy Pay and help bolster that defense that was actually quite good last year and just give them another weapon to use.
Yeah, they traded away Shaq Lawson, who was one of their ends, for
Right.
McKinney from the Texans. So it makes sense. It's definitely a spot they need to fill.
But I feel like he fits so much better in a Falcons uniform.
Maybe. All right,
All
Ryan.
right. So for me, I have the Dolphins thinking for Tua to be successful, if they want him to be able to be what they need him to, I think they got to protect him, give him as much help as they can. I think they take Tevin Jenkins here.
Mr. Jenkins.
Tevin.
Mr. Anderson. I'm not sure exactly where that came from, but
Did you guys happen to hear that Zach Wilson's going to be live at the draft next Thursday?
He's going to be alive. I hope so.
Yeah.
well,
Well,
not
actually,
live, you nerd.
Live from sunny, beautiful Cleveland. He's got to
That's
be
right.
pumped.
Nice cloudy Cleveland. Well, at least he'll be picking up a nice green jersey on the stage.
Maybe.
Or
Sorry.
You never know.
Or be very disappointed and be in the green room after the 2nd pick. Although I'm thinking it'll be the green jersey, like 99% sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along. We got number 19 with the Washington football team. They will no longer be called the DC Sprinkles due to the fact that Mr. Jeremy Sprinkle is not there no more.
It's a sad day. And
We're gonna have to find another name for him.
He's a
Oh,
Cowboy
will.
now, and he's about to lose his job to Kyle Pitts.
No.
In my draft, he is.
All right. So Washington football team, you think about their offseason, added Curtis Samuel, Fitzpatrick. They got Antonio Gibson at running back. So I think they may go to the defensive side of the ball. Their D line's pretty solidified with their 1st round picks across the whole line. And their secondary, they added William Jackson, and they already had Kendall Fuller. So I think they're going to go linebacker here. Jamin Davis out of Kentucky is who I have them taking. He's a really athletic linebacker. He's 6'4", 235. So he's DK Metcalf at middle linebacker. Fast, long arms, athletic. He's good in coverage. And you think about Ron Rivera, he had Luke Kuechly for all those years. I think he wants that perennial Pro Bowl middle linebacker on his team, and I think they can get that out of Jamin Davis. So Jamin Davis, Kentucky.
Joe?
I think that's a pretty intelligent pick too. But I think that the former DC Sprinkles, now Washington football team, is going to go with a pick that's more in their heart, and that's adding a weapon to their offense. They already have Terry McLaurin on one side, and I couldn't imagine if they had Rashad Bateman in this offense. You add the guy from Minnesota across from him, and they're going to be absolutely nasty. So I've got Bateman going here to the Washington football team.
Oh, that's not a bad pick, but they did just bring in Curtis Samuel too.
Could you imagine the three of them?
Fitzy?
They could. I think the Washington football team is going to go just a little bit more. I don't want to say conservative, but I think they draft an offensive lineman. I think they're going to want to try to run the ball a bit more and protect Ryan Fitzpatrick for when he's slinging that thing downfield when he needs to. So I'm going to give them Elijah Vera Tucker and help them shore up that offensive line a little bit.
I don't think anyone should be able to sabotage on this pick just for the fact that the Washington football team has Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I know, right?
His awesomeness just clouds this pick.
I really like Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it's going to be real hard to watch him have to play the Giants twice this year. Because I'm like, yeah, go Ryan Fitzpatrick, but also not those two games, please.
So from my Washington football team pick, I was along the same lines as JJ. I think they're going to go defensively. I have them taking Zaven Collins here. I think it's a good value right there, and it'd be a big win for them.
And now we get interesting because this is where the Bears should have picked, but JJ already has them drafting a quarterback. So what are they going to do?
So I had the Bears trading up with the Panthers. So the Panthers have the pick. Last year they took Jeremy Chin in the second round, and he really strengthened their secondary. But if you look at their depth chart, they're really pretty weak besides Dante Jackson at corner. So I have them taking Greg Newsome, really scrappy athletic corner out of Northwestern. He had a really good pro day. He played really well in the bowl game. And I think his physicality translates to the NFL really well. So they can put him in the slot, play him in the outside, wherever they need him to go. So I think the Panthers take Greg Newsome out of Northwestern at 20 in my dreams.
All right, JJ. So I've got a scenario for you just before we actually move on here. If your team doesn't trade away at 20, who do you think they'll pick here?
I think they'll take either the best tackle available or the best corner available on their board. So Greg Newsome still could go 20 to the Bears. He played his college ball in Northwestern right around the corner from Chicago. So I've seen a lot of mocks that have him going to the Bears. I've seen Tevin Jenkins. I've seen Darisaw. I think all of them make sense. I've seen Rashad Bateman. Allen Robinson is his whiny self, and he's on just a 1-year deal here. So they could look for a receiver to take over. So I think corner, wide receiver, or O-line.
Yeah. So, hey, Ron, what wide receiver do you have over on your team?
Kenny Galladay?
Yeah, that would be right, Kenny Galladay. So the Bears were heavily looking for a wide receiver at this pick. So I think they're going to dig a little bit deep here and actually pick up Kadarius Toney from Florida. They brought him in to look at him, and they were very interested in him. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a secret weapon, and he's going to jump up on draft boards. So the Bears are going to be drafting Kadarius Toney here.
Interesting player. I don't know what he's going to do at the next level. He kind of reminds me of Percy Harvin. Like, he can play anywhere, and he's really good after the catch. So,
yeah, I think he's a pretty good fit here. So we're on to Ron then.
Oh, I'm looking at the wide receivers. I feel like they are going to want the coach and GM are definitely trying to save their jobs this year. So they're going to have to give Andy Dalton every chance to succeed. But I was also thinking about their return game. I'm not sure. JJ, who's their return guy? Do they have someone?
They had Cordero Patterson. He signed with Atlanta, so they lost him. But they did just bring in Marquise Goodwin, who has a history of running really fast and returning kicks. So
you're going to need good field position with Andy Dalton at quarterback.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking back, because they've got a pretty decent defense, good defense, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it back to the years where they had that really good defense and Devin Hester just running everything back. They didn't start over like the 50-yard line like ever, it seemed like. They were always on the opponent's side of the field. And this player has slid long enough down my board. I'm going to give him Jalen Waddle.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
Jalen Waddle, not J.C. Horn.
yeah, come on now.
That's XL, man, not me.
So
We know
yeah,
what you're-
I just think
thinking.
he could help him in the return game. He might be a little bit more explosive than Mr. Goodwin, who can just run really fast. And potential weapon at wide receiver, opposite of Allen Robinson.
I like
What do you
those
got,
two
Ryan?
picks. I'd be okay.
Well, you don't get them all.
He
You
wouldn't
only
be
get one pick right here.
he wouldn't be throwing the remote at his TV after these two.
Even if they got them both, it probably still wouldn't help.
All right, Ryan, go ahead.
Shock
So
me.
I was along the same line. I think as Ron, actually. I think they take a wide receiver here. I really don't foresee him falling this far. I don't know how mine managed to have him fall this far, but I have the Bears taking Jalen Waddle here as well.
I think you guys have him going way too late.
I
Looking back,
feel
I
that way
think so.
too, but
I don't know.
I
Look
think
at Justin Jefferson last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but JJ, even you have him going at 12.
Well, I didn't originally.
Yeah, well, I think so. That's true too. There's some factors to this kind of a
well,
draft. that
didn't
make
you have him
kind of pick
originally?
there.
Oh no, the Giants were taken. Yeah, I didn't
Uh-huh.
originally.
Yeah, he's got
Had
a
to move
big
some
thing.
things around here.
He's got a big title next to that pick that says Sabotage next
I
to
know, I
it.
love it. All right, moving on to pick number 21, the Indianapolis Colts. JJ.
All right, so the Colts, I think they're going to go one of two directions. They pretty much return their whole defense. They're still trying to figure out the situation with Justin Houston, so they could go edge here if that doesn't work out. But for now, I have them taking Tevin Jenkins, nasty O lineman out of Oklahoma State. He's the type of guy that's going to block someone until they're out of bounds and then throw them into the bench. So I think him and Quentin Nelson together would be awesome to see, with Jonathan Taylor pounding the ball. I think that'd be pretty cool for them, and they want to protect Carson Wentz, who has been hit like top 2 in the league the past 2 or 3 years. So I think they're going to solidify the line, D up, and run the ball like I said the Giants are going to.
All right, Joe.
Everyone's getting a little hesitant with their picks now because we've gone 5 or 6 picks in and nobody's used the Sabotage yet.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for that bomb to drop. So I guess in this pick, I will hesitantly pick Gregory Rousseau to the Colts because they have a very nasty defense. 15.5 sacks last year for Miami. So he's a very nasty weapon, and I think he would fit very well with that Colts defense. And they have shown the propensity to be a defensive team, and I think that's going to be how they continue to build.
Was that last year or 2 years ago? Didn't he? I thought he sat out last year.
It might have been the year before. Yeah, I think it was
Nope.
2019.
Okay. All right. I couldn't remember. I was like, am I thinking of the wrong person? I couldn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
All right. JJ, I liked your pick. Offensive line, definitely good. I have Jonathan Taylor in one of my keeper leagues. I would absolutely love if they took an offensive lineman. However, I got J.C. Horn still sitting here, cornerback, and I think he just,
don't.
I don't. You're gonna sabotage that pick?
You have him at 16 going to the Cardinals. I didn't even sabotage
Oh,
you.
I didn't see that.
Sabotage
One.
yourself.
Oh yeah, it's right there on my list. I sabotaged myself.
Once
Excellent.
again, Ron sabotages himself.
Hold
Use
on.
it.
Time out
That's
from the
your
game.
sabotage.
I didn't do that once last time, and I didn't have anything written down. I actually write down all my picks this time, and then I picked the same player. That's smart.
He should have to pick that player then. J.C. Horn
Wonder
gets
if that's-
points.
Wonder if that's
You'd
ever
be-
been done in the NFL
you'd
draft.
be
They turn in
upset
a
if,
draft
like-
card of a.
You'd be upset if the Cardinals took him and then somehow traded him to the Colts for something. I don't know.
The craziest thing that I've seen on past clips of the draft is when, was it the Ravens didn't pick a player, then 3 teams ran up to the podium but picked teams before them? That was pretty crazy.
All right, I'm gonna go with. I'm also gonna go with Tevin Jenkins. I didn't see another corner I wanted to give them, so yeah, I didn't already pick him too, did I?
You're safe there, my friend.
right.
No, you're not. I'm sabotaging you here, and I want you to
Are
have to
you
think
fucking-
harder. Take Tevin Jenkins off that board. Make Ron Seymour think harder.
Love it.
Yeah. God damn you, Joseph. Asante Samuel Jr. I don't fucking know. I'm done. I'm done. Sabotage myself, then get sabotaged.
The double
Samuel,
sabotage.
favorite player, no matter what age. All right, Ryan,
That was-
pick someone. Get this off.
All right. It's hard to follow up such a good pick, but
I know.
I'm along the same line of thinking as
I
JJ.
just-
I think the Colts did lose Costanzo. I think they're gonna take the tackle here. I have them taking Samuel Cosme.
I literally don't. I
Hmm.
can't stand you. I should have gave him
Can't
Bateman.
stand you.
God damn me.
This isn't a fantasy draft here, Ron.
Yeah, but if I would have thought a little bit more, they could have used a wide receiver.
Yeah, Pittman's really their main guy. Well, they got Hilton back, right? So who knows how they view the wide receiver room.
There's that.
All right. Back to me. Am I good to pick here, boys? Ron, are you
Yes.
recovered?
No. I don't even know who's picking right now. Where are we at? Titans?
Titans at 22. So the Titans, you saw them bring in Jadeveon Clowney last year, and that experiment kind of failed because Clowney is like one of the most underachieving players of all time. So I got him going edge here. Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia, one of the higher rated pass rushers in the draft. I think they need help getting after the quarterback. Harold Landry's been okay, but I think they just need to beef up their front and get some pressure on Tyrod Taylor from the Texans. So Azeez Ojulari, Georgia.
You can't sabotage him if you can't say his name.
That's right. I keep giving away my whatever. I don't care.
I think you had a pretty good pronunciation, though. Azeez Ojulari. Yeah, that's pretty close.
I like it.
All right, Joe. What do you got for me?
All right. So we are on the Titans, who happen to lose a receiver to the Jets this offseason. So I've got them going with Rondell Moore from Purdue.
Ooh.
I think he's a good fit here. Plug and play. Move on.
Interesting.
In what kind of way interesting? Because there's more than one kind of interesting in this kind of a draft.
I'm interested to see what the Titans are going to do on offense. They lost Arthur Smith to the Falcons, so I mean, I assume they're just going to pound Derrick Henry, but maybe there'll be a little bit more passing. So who knows?
You think they're just going to feed Sasquatch?
Probably.
The
And his
Yeti.
single-digit number with that new stupid rule change today.
Explain that rule
Why
to
is
me.
that
'Cause I saw a
stupid?
highlight. I saw.
I don't like it. I have a lot of jerseys, man, and now these guys are all going to change their number, and I'm going
I
to go buy a
don't-
new jersey.
I don't think it's right that they have set numbers for certain positions. Why does it matter?
It's just the way it's always been.
Oh yeah, because we should
And-
always keep things the way they've always been. That always works. out
Yeah,
well.
Ron, the game's already different enough. It doesn't need to be more like college. I like the old numbers, and I like on defense, like when a corner subs in, like I know they're in nickel. Like when there's an extra D lineman in, I know they're in heavy. Like I don't know, it'll take some getting used to. Maybe it'll grow on me, but I'm not a
I
fan
thought
of it.
I was the old man on the show. You're the one acting like the old man right now.
I like old school football when you can
All
actually hit people,
curmudgeon.
dude.
Bring back Mike Ditka.
Get
Hell
off
yeah!
my
I'm a
yard!
Bears fan, man. Offense sucks. It's all about the defense. I don't know
Wow.
what offense is.
I could see Mike Ditka saying, "Get off my yard."
Right? Exactly. Is it my pick?
Yeah.
Who am I picking
Sure
for? The
is.
Titans? I'm still.
Wow, Ron
flustered.
doesn't get sabotaged once the entire last episode.
know.
He won this one. He's so flustered.
This is probably why I didn't get sabotaged once. You all knew it would destroy me.
You look so
Yeah,
confused.
I
on the
agree.
last
They
one.
could use it. Look, I'm going. All right. I agree. They could use a wide receiver. You can't, as much as I think AJ Brown could handle it, you don't really want to give him 200 targets. You don't want to have it to where every time you drop back to pass, they're like, oh, it's going to AJ Brown. So I'm going to give him Rashad Bateman. And
Actually, I think you do want it every time they go back, throw it to AJ Brown, because I'm sabotaging you.
Wow, 2 sabotages right in a row. So, Ron, who was your original pick?
this was a lot better when I wasn't getting sabotaged. I was having a lot more fun with it. I was going to
Sucks,
give
doesn't
him.
it?
I was going to give him Rashad Bateman. I don't know why you would sabotage me. It took me 37 minutes just to figure that
You
one.
said you had everything written down. What the hell you got on your paper? Some doodles?
Yeah. I'm writing down the ones I'm picking so I don't repick.
What have you been doing all day? Working or something?
Working or something. I don't know. Something stupid.
So lazy.
I know.
Ron's looking up lists of top 5 wide receivers right now.
No, I'm looking at like their team needs and everything, and I'm looking at all sorts of stuff, trying to think of what I want to do here.
I'd say we'd come back to you, but that's not how we're doing this sabotage
No,
draft.
you know what I'm
Ryan's
gonna do?
come
I'm
in
gonna
and
do.
jump you.
I'm gonna make a. Since I can't give them who I wanted to give them, they're gonna. No, they're not gonna do that. I lied. Just let's do Kadarius Toney. I think they still could use a wide receiver, so I'm gonna give them Kadarius Toney.
Attaboy.
That's still a smart pick. I can see the Titans doing that. They do out of the box things sometimes, and Kadarius Toney's kind of out of the box. Good recovery.
It only took 37 minutes.
All right,
Go ahead,
Ryan.
Ryan.
All right, after my little cat nap, waiting for Ron to pitch, I'm ready to go.
Sorry, Ryan.
And I'm along the same line of thinking of JJ. I think they're gonna take some defensive help here. I have them taking Carlos Basham Jr. edge here.
Basham.
Basham,
Perfect name for a pass
Basham.
rusher.
right? I mean, how can you not be good at that position if that's your name?
The Jets had a bash him last year, and he wasn't that good.
Really?
It's also the Jets.
Oh,
I think we traded him to the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken. We had a very no-name linebacking core, and I believe he was one of them.
so I've got a list up on my other computer here of NFL draft team needs, right? So the Jets are next on the clock, and I'm looking at theirs. And this is broken down into 3 categories: primary, secondary, ancillary, and don't need. There's one. Everyone else has got like 2, 3, 5 under primary. The Jets have 1, and that was quarterback. They've got like 7 under secondary. They're
Sounds
like,
about
no, quarterback.
Well, I disagree with that assessment. Joe, is it true that the Jets only had 11 sacks as a team last year?
Yeah, they were pretty bad on defense, and they've added a lot of players on defense.
Added a lot of players. They have been pretty active this offseason, but I have them bolstering the pass rush. So at 23, I have the Jets taking Zaven Collins, edge rusher out of Tulsa. I think they need to generate some rush, even though, I don't know, the quarterbacks in their division aren't that scary, but still obviously a big need of any team. So Zaven Collins, what do you think about that?
I wouldn't hate some more pass rush because that's what they've been bolstering already this offseason. They really need an outside, well, in a 4-3 now would be a defensive end to fill the other position because they filled that up pretty well already in free agency. So, I mean, I wouldn't hate it to be building off a strength, which they have a lot of weaknesses. So why not? It's going to take 2 or 3 years anyway. But with that, we're on to me anyway. So me being the real Jets insider here, I'm going to go with what the GM knows best here. And I really think he's going to address the guard position because they've been really looking for an offensive lineman. So with the 23rd pick, I believe the Jets are going to select Creed Humphreys, who plays guard center. So he can either play center and they can move their center over, who is a lot better at guard anyway, or they could transfer him to guard. So Creed Humphreys here from Oklahoma, giving their young quarterback more protection, not doing what they did to Sam Darnold, having him running around.
It's never a bad idea.
No.
I am right on par with you there about them needing an offensive lineman. I still got Tevin Jenkins on my board, and I think they're going to take him here.
Why do you still have him on your board, Ron?
Because I didn't pick him earlier.
You actually did.
No, I didn't. Oh, I did. Yeah. Yeah. With the step. Yeah. Up there with the step. Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, I didn't. I'm looking at my paper. He wasn't on there.
Those sabotagers might actually save you with this pick too, because a lot of insiders have been projecting us Tevin Jenkins too. They said he's a favorite on their board, so you might actually be saved by those here.
You get.
All right, Ryan.
All right, I'm along the same line of thinking as JJ. Quinnen Williams led the Jets last season with 6 sacks. Pretty sure the Nets closest guy had 3. So I
It
see
was
them.
8. Get it right.
Oh, okay.
Wait, he had 8.
Are
and the
you
rest of the
sure?
Team had 3.
I believe so.
I think he had 6.
Wow.
We'll have to look up the stats for that. I'm pretty sure it was 8.
We didn't look it up, but anyway, I have them working to address that. I have them taking Aziz Ajulari, edge, at this position.
Wow, you guys really don't think we're going to help our rookie quarterback out?
Do you ever?
So,
No, not really. This is the changing of a guard though, so that's why I'm saying they're taking a lineman.
I'm not going to lie here. After you two back-to-back sabotaged me, I thought for sure you guys have all conspired against me. And then I was going to get a third sabotage right there. So, and I made sure I waited till after Ryan made his pick before I said that. So that.
It didn't happen.
Right. All right. Next on the clock is number 24, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right. And just to clear it up for you guys, Quinnen Williams, you guys split it. So he actually had 7 sacks in 2020.
Yes, we were both wrong.
Ooh.
But guess what? You went over, so I win.
Price is
right,
right
Joe.
rules.
Just
Wait.
kidding. I went over. I don't know math.
So you lose.
Oh, yeah.
Sabotage myself there.
You pulled the wrong Seymour.
Sabotage. Hey.
Damn it.
All right, boys. So the Steelers, you look at their team. A lot of people think that they may go running back in the first round, which they may. Not sure, but last year when you watch their games, Big Ben, because his arm is like dead, they threw everything really fast, so he didn't really need a ton of time to throw, but that can never hurt. And you got Chase Claypool, who you can just throw the ball up and he'll go get it. And I think they want to start running the ball again better. So they need to build that O-line back up to what it was when they had AB and Juju and Le'Veon Bell and Prime Roethlisberger. So I think they're going to start that and add Sam Cosmi from Texas, giant O-lineman. His technical skills are a little raw, but he's a specimen and an absolute bulldozer. And I think he'd fit well up there in Pittsburgh. So Sam Cosmi.
JJ, it's interesting that you said that too, because Marquise Pouncey actually ended up retiring this year. So I think they're going to look to also bolster that offensive line. I'm thinking a little bit different along those lines too. I think that they're confident they can run the ball no matter who's behind that line, even though they had an absolute disaster on it last year. I think like most other teams train of thinking though, they'll wait till the 3rd or 4th round. So I've got them taking Jalen Mayfield, offensive tackle from Michigan. He's a pretty smart kid, and I think he kind of fits the trend Pittsburgh lineman.
Yeah, I hear what you're both saying, but and this one is mostly this pick here is definitely fantasy football related, and they're going Najee Harris just because I think that
Uh,
is
with Kalen Balaj.
yeah. Again, you guys got to remember the caveat that I put in that if they drafted someone, it wouldn't happen.
He's just praying he's not going to have to actually watch what happens if they go with Caleb Balaj in the starting running back position.
I'm telling you, if he is the starting running back for 14 games, he will put over 1,000 yards.
I'm happy you think that.
It's
Because
it's a pure volumes thing. That's all it is.
it's on our Instagram. So, I mean, it's got to be true. We will see.
All right, Najee Harris to the Steelers.
Ryan, you want to say anything about that? Or
Yeah, so actually, I think the Steelers, after losing Connor in the offseason, I think they're gonna make a statement that they're gonna keep a strong run game. I think they take Najee Harris here as well.
Not what I hope you were going to say.
yeah, I thought you were gonna say something else. Start with an S.
They wanted you to sabotage me.
You know,
So let about my little Kalen Balaj thing. 1,000 yards over the 17 game season. That is 58 yards a game. That is not a hard thing to reach.
Do you think he can get that under 3 yards of carry?
I don't think he'll have under 3 yards of carry.
My whole point on Balaj is just that I don't think he maybe even makes a team. Like, I don't even think he's gonna start a single game for him. That's my point.
Oh, that may be, especially when they draft Najee Harris. If they don't draft someone, he's going to make the team. Who are they going to run with? Benny Snell? Stop it.
Snell, yeah.
No.
Hell yeah.
Benny's got some. He's all right. He'll get some work this year. They got McFarland too from Georgia. But they're definitely.
They gave Benny Snell work, and he was horrible. He was
Well,
worse
it's
than
that line,
Caleb
bud.
Balaj.
That's why they're going to draft Sam Cosmi.
I just want the Balaj show just so we get to see Ron sweat for 17 weeks.
I wouldn't sweat. I've been wrong before. It's fine. Pick number 25. The Jaguars are back on the clock.
Yep. So I have them taking Trevor Lawrence's old buddy, Travis Etienne. Running back, Clemson. They already have James Robinson, and they brought in Carlos Hyde, so this may not make a lot of sense, but I think Etienne's game really fits into today's game where he's a great pass catcher and he's got familiarity with Trevor Lawrence. And I think that'd be a really great 1-2 punch with Robinson and Etienne. Kind of saw Robinson start to break down towards the end of the year and miss a couple of games so they could kind of spell him. And I mean, the running back rotation's kind of the way of the NFL these days. So I just think it fits and makes sense and probably helps Trevor Lawrence.
Whew. All right.
All right, Joe.
I'm ready to just say a mouthful here. If I can even get this name out successfully, I think I win this draft.
Oh, I wonder if it's the same one I'm going to throw out.
Okay, so I think they're going to be picking linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. So they really need someone in the middle of that defense. He can kind of be the general of that defense. They'll have a face of their offense, a face of their defense. Into the future for the Jaguars.
Okay, so I have that name further down the draft board, so I'm going to wait and then copy and paste it and put it in there so I don't have to try and spell that without it in front of me.
Or you could just do Jeremiah O.K. So Jeremiah OK.
Why don't you just let him do the draft board? That's what he does.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm speaking out of turn, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do
All
what
right.
I was going to do.
Besides, he's going to have trouble spelling mine anyways. So I'm going to give Trevor Lawrence another weapon. I'm going to give him tight end Pat Freiermuth, however that's pronounced. Because are you shaking your head no because you don't like the pick or you don't want to spell the name?
I don't know how to spell it.
Do you want the spelling or do you just want to put F?
I'm gonna put F.
Okay.
But if we don't spell it, the Instagram people won't see who we actually picked.
I will
They
look it
can
up
listen to the
afterwards.
they
before we
can listen to
post
the
it.
podcast, and then they will know.
Maybe they don't have time for it, Ron. They just want to see the list.
Well, then they're missing out. All this
Yeah,
solid
it's on
quality
them.
content. Yeah, obviously he's not Kyle Pitts, but he's good as a blocker and a pass catcher. I think he may be able to come in and help out. Sorry, I was having a hard time speaking there on this podcast.
You'll have that on garbage time.
Yeah. Garbage time.
There we
All
go.
right, Ryan, take your pick.
All right, so I had this player falling pretty far because of injury concerns. But I see the Jaguars here taking Gamble, getting a really good value if it works out, and I have him drafting Caleb Farley here.
Very nice.
That is quite a fall for Caleb Farley. That would be a good pickup for him. I'll tell you what, if that back injury really isn't something, that it would be quite a steal because he could be the number 1 overall corner in this draft.
Yeah, he was
Exactly.
the number 1 ranked guy before all the medical stuff came out.
Yeah, it's just that's what's scaring everyone away right now.
Yep.
I mean, for good reason too. It's not like they shouldn't be worried about something like that. One
Yeah.
good hit and he could pull Ryan Shazier. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
all right, moving on to number 26 is the Cleveland
Browns.
Browns.
Yeah, I absolutely hate that I did this, but the Ravens are sitting there at 27, and I think a lot of people think the Ravens could take a wide receiver. So I have the Green Bay Packers jumping them, trading up to number 26 and 29, and selecting Rashad Bateman, Minnesota wide receiver. Big physical receiver that would play on the opposite of Devontae Adams, who turns 29 this year. I think he's still got a couple years of prime left, but Bateman could come in as his protege, and they could finally draft an offensive player in the first round, help out Aaron Rodgers, and maybe make him want to stay one more year.
They drafted an offensive player first round this year.
Someone's going to play.
Jordan Love.
Yeah, there's rumors that the Patriots are interested in Jordan Love, I heard.
Yeah, I heard that on the Pat McAfee show today.
Yep.
How do you feel about that, Ryan?
We just put out that we're interested in everybody. We don't want anyone to know what we're doing.
I would believe that.
Everywhere. All right.
All right,
So
Joe.
I don't believe that the Browns are going to actually trade this pick. They need help at a lot of positions. You saw that in the AFC Championship game where they got out to an early lead. They fell behind because their defense was letting them down. So they're going to address what they need to do and draft a linebacker here. So I've got the Browns selecting Zaven Collins, who fell a little bit in this draft. He's an athletic linebacker from Tulsa. He fills a need for him, gets him closer to the Super Bowl.
All right. I agree that they're gonna go defense. Help them out here. I got Aziz Ojulari going here.
You just love picking the hard names for JJ to have to spell.
I
got
already
this
knew he
one.
could copy paste this one. But yes, putting him on the other side of Myles Garrett would just be
What about Clowney?
nasty. For the 3 games Clowney will actually play,
That's very true.
he might not do much, but they could also run sort of like the Giants did all those years ago, where they have 3 defensive ends in there and do what they call the NASCAR package or whatever they called it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could do that and just wreak havoc. So,
And Clowney will probably only want to play half games anyway, so
right, exactly.
He'll
makes sense.
pick up his paycheck and go away.
Right. All right, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have the Browns upgrading their defense here. I have them taking the linebacker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I think Joe did a better job pronouncing it than I did, but
which is rare because usually I'm the one with word spaghetti.
All right. So that rolls back to me and the Ravens.
We're now
lot of-
pissed because he's off the board.
Right. They wanted Bateman and the backers jumped them. So I think that the Ravens need help at pass rush. They lost Matt Judon to the Patriots, and their only rushers are Bowers and Pernell McPhee, who was one of the biggest bust free agent signings the Bears ever signed. Yes, I still hold a grudge. So I think they're going to go edge here. Jason Owe from Penn State. He has picked up a lot of buzz here in the past couple of weeks, and rumors he's moving up draft boards. So he could actually go higher than this. But I think the Ravens need help with the pass rush. And Lamar Jackson can't throw anyways, so why get another receiver? So Jason Owe, Penn State.
Gentlemen, what have we learned throughout the Ravens' history? They love moving up and down draft boards. So this pick right here, the Ravens are going to trade back, acquire some more capital, and the Bears are going to come back up into the first round here.
Oh, I like it.
The Bears are going to end up doing this because they are now desperate. Their GM needs to fill positions. He feels necessary to do it. He doesn't want to lose his job. So with this trade up, the Bears select Tevin Jenkins, offensive lineman, to help out Andy Dalton in this position.
I like it, Joe.
Hey, listen, all of y'all. Listen, all of y'all.
Uh-oh.
It's sabotage.
Shocking. So, I mean, I guess the Bears will have to be selecting someone else here. Or
this
I could
was
go
the-
back to the Ravens.
This was the perfect time to do it because it hurts not only Joe's pick,
It hurts my
potentially
feelings.
the Bears.
A twofer.
It's
little bit of a
twofer.
twofer,
A terrible twofer.
No problem here, JJ. I've still got your back. The Bears,
All right.
the Bears will still trade up, and instead they'll take a mauler here from Alabama, Landon Dickerson.
All right.
Although I would have liked my last pick here a little better.
Would you
Me
have?
too.
See, you do something a little bit fancy, and Ron just jumps down your throat.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, boys, we don't have enough trades here because I got a feeling the first round is going to be full of them.
Me
This
too.
isn't fancy time fantasy football. This is garbage time fantasy football.
Hey, I know only me and JJ have a trade going on here. What's going on, you two?
I'm lazy,
I-
I guess. That's
I just don't believe there'll be that many trades in the later part. I think most of the trades will happen in the beginning of the first round because of quarterbacks and such. I'm not saying there wouldn't be any in the towards the end, but I agree though with JJ here that they could use some edge rushing help. And I had a name. Oh yeah, they're gonna take the shot on that Gregory Russo, I guess would be how you pronounce that last name. I think Joe picked him earlier. Yeah. Like you said, it's 2019. He played great. I know he didn't do well at the combine or pro day or whatever you want to call it this year, and he sat out last year. But I think here you get a chance maybe to ease him in a little bit, make sure he's in good shape and everything, and then let him loose and soak up the talent. Go ahead, Ryan.
yeah, so I have the Ravens here getting another weapon for Lamar Jackson, get someone to play opposite Hollywood Brown. I have the Ravens taking Rashad Bateman here.
Very possible. Unfortunate for him, but very possible.
Yeah, not very fantasy relevant then. Unlike if he went to the Packers, where he would be a monster, I think.
Oh,
Maybe.
do you think so?
I do. I think he'd be a wide receiver 3 at minimum.
Yeah, I agree. I do think if they take someone in the first round, though, that it does hurt Devontae Adams a little bit.
He's secretly one of my favorite players in this draft. He's just an athletic freak. I've seen Odell Beckham like catches on there. He goes up and gets the ball. He fights for it. He's real fun.
I think he could honestly, like I said before, when I was Sabotage last time about the Alabama receivers, I don't know that they're built to last. And I think could be a perennial Pro Bowler that plays for a long time. I like Bateman a lot too.
All right, moving on. Pick number 28 to the Saints and JJ.
All right. So one of the big headliners in free agency this offseason was Trey Hendrickson. Had double-digit sacks for the Saints last year, so they need to fill that hole. And I have them taking Carlos Basham out of Wake Forest. They've had a solid defense for years, and they've been able to get to the passer with Cam Jordan, and they need someone on the other side to help them out. So I think they bolster that. Though I will say the Saints are one of the most unpredictable teams in the first round. So I would be surprised if anyone got their pick right here. What do you got, Joe?
All right. Before I was rudely sabotaged in my incredible trade there, which JJ, for some reason, I still think you're going to walk away with 2 first-round players just because of your desperate GM. So I've got the Saints selecting Asante Samuel Jr. here. They need a corner. They get burned in that division. You've still got Tom Brady there. They need some help. They're going to get it here.
Marcus Lattimore or Marshawn Lattimore might be in prison. So
Yeah. So, another corner could help.
Wait, what?
Lattimore, I think he was in Ohio, maybe, and he got pulled over and had like a weapon and or drugs.
Oh, I must
So
have
he
missed
got
that
arrested this off season. He's been busy.
Minimum is a suspension coming.
news. Busy.
Let's see, where did yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So that's me now, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to give the Saints a little bit of maybe a surprising pick. I'm going to give them Rondale Moore. I feel like if it's Taysom Hill as the starter, they could use him a lot of gadget plays, different end arounds or sweeps, stuff like of that nature.
I hate
If
Taysom
Jamie,
Hill.
huh?
I
Oh, you hate
hate
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. I hate him.
And if Jameis Winston ends up being the starter, it's just going to be good for everybody on offense. So, and
Yeah,
on the
but-
other team's defense.
So why not play him? But let's play the guy that's not a quarterback and that steals everyone's touchdowns and is a giant pain in the ass in fantasy. Let's play that guy.
Hey, you could just play him at tight end.
Anytime
I
his
do
name's
think
mentioned
with-
on this podcast, I'm going to say I hate him.
I do think with Rondale Moore's speed, his change of directness, quickness, like he stops and goes. It's similar to Tyreek Hill, really, like how well Tyreek Hill can do that. And I think if they do plan on going with Taysom Hill, they can use him in a lot of gadgets. And if it's Jameis Winston, he can be downfield in a heartbeat. So
On the turf, dude, with as fast and explosive as he is, and he wouldn't even have to change his uniform and gear color coming from Purdue. Makes a lot of sense.
It does.
all
I
right,
like
Ryan.
that pick.
All right, I have the Saints. Their offense is kind of up in the air. I have them, just stacking the defense, hoping that will be enough to win the games. I have them taking Greg Newsome, the second here, cornerback.
He's a good corner out of Northwestern too. So if the Jets don't end up picking a lineman here, that's the corner I want them taking because that is a desperate need for us. And he fits zone corners incredibly. He's a great pick.
Yes,
All right,
sir. I
moving
don't know if I
on.
follow that much, but I like him a lot.
Number 29 is the Packers.
Packers, so I had them making that trade with the Browns. I had the Packers going up and taking Rashad Bateman, so I had the Browns trading back a few picks. They really spent, and they have a really good secondary that they spent on in free agency and already had Denzel Ward. They got Clowney and they have Miles Garrett, so I think their front is okay. So I have them going linebacker here. So this is where I have Owusu Koramoa going out of Notre Dame. Athletic linebacker that kind of fits today's NFL, just like the size of Devin Bush or Roquan Smith. So I think this is a good value pick for them and helps their defense out. Maybe you can catch Lamar Jackson when they play the Ravens.
All right, very interesting. One thing the Bears always like to do is one up the Packers. So before the Packers actually announce their pick, I see a trade being announced that the Bears trade for Taysom Hill with their second round pick. And it's announced live on NFL Network. Just kidding, guys. But anyway, that would be horrible for JJ, and that might actually get the remote in the TV.
Yes, I would be on one of those viral videos, punching or shooting the TV and slamming it on the ground. And then I'd probably cry the rest of the day.
We would all happily buy you a new TV for the content you give us doing that. So anyway, back to the topic of the Packers. The Packers are going to end up actually helping out Aaron Rodgers this year after that garbage they pulled from last year where many Packers fans got very angry. So with the 29th overall pick, the Packers select Elijah Moore, wide receiver from Ole Miss. A little bit of a slot wide receiver, might be a little out of position, but I think they'll make it work.
Why is it typing S? Probably because I'm pressing the S.
I mean, that is most likely what's going on. All right. And with my pick, I'm going to give them the same player that JJ gave them, and they didn't have to trade up or anything for him. And that is Rashad Bateman.
Interesting.
That almost makes too much sense.
I know.
So I have the Packers, same, doing what they should have done last year, getting Rodgers a weapon. I have them taking Kadarius Toney here.
Oh, that could be nasty.
Yeah, I don't like you guys giving the Packers weapons,
Yeah.
even though I did it.
Right?
I
Yeah.
think
They
everyone's on
traded
that.
up to get a weapon on yours.
It's just, I mean, it's like a joke at this point, like how they haven't drafted a wide receiver for Rodgers. It just has to happen this year.
Right.
Jokes on us. They take another quarterback, the Florida kid.
Trask.
Trask.
I would be so happy, but
Oh my
obviously that wouldn't
goodness. Aaron Rodgers would quit.
He'd go and be the Jeopardy host.
Yeah. Or he'd play and just be like, oops.
happen. What Joe Buck's gonna go be the Jeopardy host. He wants that as a full-time job. Can't imagine those Fox broadcasts without Buck with Aikman. It just sounds un-American.
It sounds un-American. All right, Joe. No, not Joe. I lied. All right, we are up on pick number 30 with the Buffalo Bills, and we've got JJ on the clock.
Yeah, so the Bills kind of sucked at running the ball last year, and Allen had to run a little bit. And, even though they have the best backup quarterback in the NFL that could probably start for multiple teams now, they want to keep Josh Allen upright and bolster that run game. So I've got the Bills taking Elijah Vera Tucker, who very well could be off the board here, but I have him slipping in my draft. He can play guard or right tackle, and you won't get hurt taking him.
If he
Especially this
slides,
spot.
that's who I want us to get is Elijah Vera Tucker. Very badly. We need an interior guard, and he is a mauler. Anyway, back to my, I'll get off my wet dream now. Anyway, so back to reality. We're talking about the Bills, which is disgusting, but I'm gonna actually help them out here. The Bills are gonna pray that nobody trades up in front of them to take one of these elusive running backs. It's really the weak point of their team here. So with the 30th overall pick here, the Bills are going to select Najee Harris. Najee Harris is going to help them control the clock. That's how they're going to hope to get in front of the Chiefs and Browns, which I think are going to be very much contenders this year. So that's their avenue of trying to compete with them. Najee Harris to the Bills.
Makes a lot of sense.
I like it. For the Bills, I've got them taking Greg Newsome second, pairing him with Tre'Davious White would just kind of be a nasty duo.
Mhm.
And we've seen how you beat the Chiefs. Is you get pressure on Pat Mahomes. And if everybody's covered, the line's going to get there. Joe is
Preach.
messaging Ryan right now saying, sabotage him. What are you doing?
We don't want it.
You were supposed to do it at pick 23 after me and JJ did.
Dude,
It is now
so
30.
do I look like I'm up to something?
Well, as soon as I made my pick, I saw you go. So, I mean, just kind
How
of
do
seemed
How do you know I'm not just prepping if I get sabotaged on these last 2 picks?
because I just assume
You think I've got nefarious things brewing, huh?
kinda. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a second Instagram chat somewhere of just you three being like, "Oh, let's get him. He didn't get sabotaged at all last time." I just assume that's how you talk when you're typing.
All right, so I have the Bills also. I don't think their offense was bad last year. I don't think they had an issue scoring. I think they'll take the chance to boost their defense. I have them drafting Asante Samuel Jr. here, good top cornerback to help them out.
You were a fan of his old man, huh, Ryan?
Yeah, it kind of would upset me to see the kid go to the Bills, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that could be painful, huh?
He was on those great Patriot teams, even though there've been like 20 great Patriot
I was gonna say, aren't
teams over
they
the
all?
last 21 years. But
All
whatever.
right.
That would be very much of a rival thing to do, though. Take someone else's, protege and son.
Right. Yeah. All right. Pick number 31 is the Kansas City Chiefs. And they've got
Yeah, so I have the Chiefs taking Kadarius Toney here because, why not add another weapon to that offense?
Oh God.
And him with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and McCole Hardman, the Legion of Zoom would live on now that Sammy Watkins left for the Ravens. So Andy Reid would find a masterful way to place him in the offense, and just another weapon for Mahomes. Even though I think they should bolster their offensive line after that showing in the Super Bowl, but they added Kyle Long and a couple of pieces this offseason. So I got him taking a weapon here.
Very interesting. Because of an interesting sabotage, where I had that genius trade to Chicago there, the Chiefs are absolutely elated to find out that Tevin Jenkins is falling down the board. So, I mean, obviously they would take him here. So, Tevin Jenkins is
Yeah.
going to the Chiefs.
Hope not.
And the fans go wild.
Yes, they would. Talk to me, Ron.
He's nice and quiet. He knows what's about to happen, so he's got to research. He knows there's only 2 picks left and he needs 3 players. That's nice, Ron. You're still muted, so.
I forgot I did that.
Oh, muted again.
Yeah, I was going to just straight unmute it.
You're muted. We can't hear you.
That's a lie. I know a little bit more about computers than that.
He's sabotaging his own technology.
Yeah, that's what I do, you know. Oh, do. Well, they definitely need some offensive line. I mean, we saw that in the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go with the guy that Joe drafted earlier with Creed Humphrey. Like Joe was saying, he's versatile. You can move him to the guards or have him play center. They need help.
I'm gonna
offensive line.
sabotage Ron just because it's fun, and have him pick another player.
Triple
Here's what's
special.
gonna happen. I'm gonna pick up my phone where it shows all of the offensive linemen. I'm going to look at the list. Whoever the top player on that list that has not been drafted yet on my team is who the Chiefs are going to take. Are we ready?
Do you remember who you picked?
Stop it. Alex Leatherwood. Jack,
Is that right?
Alex Leatherwood.
did you see what JJ put in there?
I didn't. Enlighten us.
Jack me off.
Jack me up.
I'm crying.
Wow, Joe, what are you talking about? Weird. All right.
Oh,
Alex Leatherwood, offensive lineman, Alabama.
At least he's an Alabama player, I guess. Oh.
All right, so here I have the Chiefs. We know they had some offensive line problems, but I think they're going to address that different ways. I have them drafting Jason Away right here, adding to their defense to shut down the Buccaneers when they play them in the Super Bowl again.
They're going to continue to have offensive line problems if they select Alex Leatherwood.
listen, I told you what was happening.
Ron, you picked the wrong Alabama lineman to begin with. Landon Dickerson was still there.
Listen, I told you what I did. I have a list. He was the next one on the list that was not drafted.
Leatherwood.
Excellent. All right, boys.
This has got Landon Dickerson as like number 71 overall. It's got Alex
What
Leatherwood
site
at
is it?
39.
No.
CBS.
Yeah, CBS. I got a lot to say about CBS analysts.
What's your opinion on that, JJ? Who's the better lineman?
I like Dickerson better. He's nasty. I think he grades out higher on the mental stuff too. Leatherwood, I don't know. I think they are already saying that Leatherwood's probably gonna have to go to the interior. And most teams see him as a guard instead of a tackle. So,
Well, maybe we'll both have Leatherwood on our face, and they'll be getting picked in the 4th round, both of them.
no, he'll go. Both of them will go in the top 2 rounds for sure. I think.
Yeah.
But the Jets will probably draft him.
Oh, don't say that. Anyway, we're on to the
Last pick.
yeah. Make it count.
Last pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So I'm probably way too early on this guy, but he lit up his pro day, and I think he really increased his stock. Great size, great speed, and I look at the Buccaneers, and their line is loaded. They have Tom Brady at QB. Their weapons are loaded. They're getting O.J. Howard back there. They have Bray. They have Gronk. Defense is their strength, and the only part of their defense that maybe has a hole is their corner position. So I haven't taken Tyson Campbell, cornerback out of Georgia. You can't get hurt adding size and speed to your team, and I think they take a chance on him here in the 1st round. He's got a lot of upside.
It's
And Joe?
That's pretty interesting. Tampa doesn't have a lot of holes. They're a pretty solid team all around, all spots. You can't go wrong added to your offensive line, and they could use a center. So I've got the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers selecting Walker Little because I hope they're going to be real little this year. Their record's going to be little anyway.
I don't know.
Walker Little.
All right, Mr. Seymour.
Well, like you guys both kind of alluded to, they don't really have much need, really. They brought back, I'm pretty sure, their entire team, pretty much, minus a few secondary pieces. So they're going to trade back. And the Giants are going to
Finally.
jump up here,
Oh,
and they're going to
Ooh.
continue bolstering that defense that's already pretty good,
Sabotage.
He just had to do this.
and just get Jason away and get some edge rush presence.
This is highly too much of an intelligent move for the Giants to make.
Probably. They did trade up a few years ago. No, they didn't trade up in the first round, but they traded up to like the first pick in the second round, and that's when they got Landon Collins.
I loved Landon Collins. I really wanted the Bears. to
I did
draft him.
too. I was real upset when they didn't
Let him
re-sign
go.
him.
And
Yeah.
then he went to a division rival.
Yeah,
It's the worst.
yeah, I wasn't happy about that.
A team knows the former DC Sprinkles.
All right,
All right,
Ryan.
Ryan.
All right.
For the
So
final
what,
pick of this sabotage mock draft.
so for the team that needs nothing, I think they take this opportunity, add to their defensive line. Can't hurt to draft the quarterbacks a little bit more. And I have them taking, I'm gonna butcher the last name, but Levi Onwuzurike.
I loved it. It was beautiful.
Here. Thank you.
You-
Thank you.
You mean
Sounded
they
it
don't-
out.
They don't trade that pick to Bill Belichick and the Patriots?
You know, I wouldn't complain, but
I love it. Levi something.
fair enough.
Solid.
I like it.
Well, boys, that was fun.
It was a good time. And we did it. We got out of here before 8:15 like JJ needed.
I knew we would.
I knew it. I mean, everyone was here on time. We didn't have any technical difficulties getting in. It
Whatsoever.
just everything went smoothly. It's amazing. Jack Mehoff made an appearance. Thank you, Mr. Mehoff.
It was a good time when Jack's around.
Yeah. Really should give him a hand.
Maybe Mike Rochburns can come next week.
Right. What is going on? All
Well,
right.
I'm pretending to be 12. It's pretty cool.
All
Middle
right.
school was fun.
Middle school is a great time.
I
What was
miss
middle school
Leon
like in the
Sanders.
70s, Ron?
There was a lot of hair everywhere.
Let me guess, uphill both ways.
Uphill both ways. No socks, no shoes. You know, the whole thing.
Shag Ruggs.
Yeah. All right.
Welcome.
Well, this was our the second half of our sabotage mock draft. I hope you all had as much fun as we had doing it. We are on YouTube now. Joe is amazing.
You're welcome.
Check out it's just Garbage Time Fantasy Football, right?
That's correct, because
YouTube.
I'm keeping it simple, unlike this draft format we have.
Right. Instagram. Joe also has done a wonderful job over there at Garbage Time Fantasy Football.
Doing work.
Doing work. Go check us out. Give us a like, give us a follow, download everything, share everything. And tell your youngest sibling's babysitter about our show so they can watch it too and listen to it.
What if they are their youngest sibling's babysitter?
Well, then
Sometimes
they've
you gotta
already
talk
been.
to yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, talk to yourself in the mirror.
Through that,
Or
we're speaking to you.
Post it on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the places. Just
Maybe we'll
do
have
the
theme
things.
music next week too.
Huh?
Maybe we'll have theme music next week too.
Maybe we got some things working to help fix our audio situation with our drops and such. Because we like using the drops. It's fun.
We'll see what we can do.
We'll see what we can do. And with that, we will say adieu without any end music because, like we said, we're working on it. So, Joe, would you just like to throw a random boom?
Boom.
All right. I like it.